Good morning, garden friends. Today is part 2 of my discussion with Juan on his bamboo oasis. We're gonna walk around, see the plants that he's propagating, and then also take a look at his garden. So come along with me. Well, good morning, Juan, and thank you so much for letting me come over and get a good feel of your bamboo oasis. From what I see, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. It's a work in progress. Thank you for coming over. This is what I do. This is fun. Originally, the property, there was nothing here except for the giant bamboo, the golden bamboo, and then there was a laurel petalum, 2 gardenias up against the house, and the Japanese maple up against the house. So everything else you see on the property, I have put in the ground.
Wow.
90% of everything has been from the generosity of people that I do work for, that are retired master gardeners. Once I bought the property, between all of them, inclusive of the Flower Lady of Marietta, they just started giving me items, extras, leftovers. I also do a lot of plant rescue, and it just kind of evolved from there. So, yeah, originally this was landscaped differently, but then it became a holding area, and there's a little bit of everything over here, as you can see, from strawberries, tick seed, different types of cannas. My banana trees are high altitude. I brought them in from Japan.
Oh, nice.
So they actually will stand the cold weather here, and they don't have a problem coming back up, because all my Caribbean bananas are gone.
Okay.
A couple of winters ago, they all died. But so like I said, and there was plenty of liriope here. There wasn't any liriope outlining the cul-de-sac, but I started thinning it out and moving it and just landscaping the entire property. I mean, so which way would you like to start?
You tell me.
Okay. I tell you what, let's go over here and I'll show you where the majority of, there are propagations everywhere, of course, but once I get them established a certain way, or I have to thin them out, or I decide to start things from seed, this is where they end up, and this is where I ended up organizing everything for the plant sale. The Flower Lady of Marietta retired. I actually, she gave me what she had. So about 40% of what I had came from her. The other 60% was from everybody else's generosity.
Nice.
To be honest with you.
Nice.
So, as you can see there, that's an original shrub here. I moved it. And the other one's original shrub. I moved it. And then everything else I have put in. So there's a little bit of everything. For Cosmia, you know, I mean, there's the Cosmia is going crazy. I'm starting to pull stuff out, give it away. My neighbor has a big property next door, and she's got an open field, and so we're transferring a lot of the extras over there.
Nice.
Yeah, I love my neighbors, and I give to my neighbors, and they're very generous as well too. This is what I call Scotty's Corner, because he wanted it to look very tropical.
Oh, nice.
I took him to Puerto Rico, and he fell in love, and he's like, "Can you do that here?" Yes, very selective. The canna lilies, my purple canna lilies, were 7 feet tall. A week and a half ago, the winds we had through, they all fell, so I cut them back.
Yeah.
But those are my pride and joy amorphophallus. If you're not familiar with those, that is the corpse plant. It does smell like rotten flesh when it blooms.
Which one?
This right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this right here. So I'm in love with this plant. A lot of people don't like it. My fiance loves it as well. So I have a few of them, and, you know, they kind of propagate themselves.
Okay.
But this is...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, from gardenias, rosemary, lantana, cannas, elephant ears, hostas, ferns, 3 different types of hibiscus, because that's one of my favorite flowers ever, and I mean, Solomon seal, different types of sedum, daylilies, prickly pear. I mean, there's a little bit of everything.
Wow.
But I'm very, very fortunate that I have a creek running through the back of my property.
Yeah.
So usually that area back there is where the greenhouse will sit. Actually, this year I'm going to move it into here because that workspace back there is a workspace. That area back there is part of my workspace, and I probably have about 500 propagations sitting back there right now.
Wow.
Just doing their thing. Just doing their thing. So, but I will take you throughout the rest of the property. I'll show you my secret that a lot of people don't get to see.
Okay.
But I will show you my secret that's hidden behind all of this. And this is my workspace. It looks crazy. It is a little crazy, but as you will see, I've got all the containers in the world that I need. I keep it hidden. You know, this is a big propagating area. These are the Jane Magnolias. They're doing well.
Oh,
They're
wow.
sitting here underneath the banana. Everything does well back here. Lamium that I propagated. I mean, I've got a little bit of everything. Ginkgos, which are doing quite well. And as you can see, the creek runs back that way, and I've got all those pots. There's probably about 500 of them over there.
Wow.
Those are all propagations.
Nice.
Yeah, those are all propagations. And then these are all my my storage area.
Okay.
And
wow, you do have a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Now, what is that? The ground cover.
This is lamium.
Oh, okay.
That's lamium, and it blooms yellow flowers. It is beautiful. It is very invasive. But back here, I love it because it's holding the dirt from washing away into the creek.
Yeah.
And then azaleas, I just throw them along the creek line, which I've got a wheelbarrow full to do, and I just let them be, and they get healthy again. And
yeah.
I pull them up and put them in pots and sell them or give them away. I do give a lot of stuff away. My neighbors are very generous to me, but I'm very generous to them as well, and I think it's become such a wonderful experience, and not just with my direct neighbors, but a lot of the neighbors throughout the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I got to meet a lot of them when I did my sale.
Yeah.
This year. So as you can see, this is an area. My giant breaking ferns that came from the flower lady. That was a gift when we got the house.
Oh, wow.
And I'm slowly transitioning them to other parts of the property and to other people. Yeah, so it's a labor of love.
Yes, it is.
It looks like a mess, but it's an organized mess.
Yeah.
It's an organized mess. So like I said, I love it. I love it. You know, it's just and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, but I'll show you the rest of the property. And
what is this?
This is phlox.
Oh, wow, that's very pretty. It's tall.
Yes.
Is it the woodland phlox?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is phlox. Windmill palm hiding amongst everything, which you'll see during the winter. That's the only palm that'll survive very easily in Georgia.
And what is this?
This is Tantara.
Okay. Does it flower? Or?
It does flower, and it's about to flower.
Oh, okay.
And I can't believe that they're this tall already because they've only been in the ground a few months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, fell in love with the property. A lot of people are scared of bamboo. I'm not. Vinegar does wonders. And I keep all the bamboo at bay. This smaller bamboo is golden bamboo. It was brought in from Japan.
Oh, it's pretty. The
giant bamboo is from China. It is called giant bamboo because the cliffs, this area was originally a golf course.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the second golf course in Metro Atlanta back in the day. Before that, it was a dairy farm. Before that, it belonged to Native Americans.
Oh, okay.
So this is the entrance, basically, to the bamboo oasis, which that's what we call this area.
Is this agave?
No, this is a giant ajuga.
That's what I meant, ajuga. I knew it was, okay. That's
giant ajuga. And you will see there's a little bit of everything back here, but, you know, I kind of straightened things out, rebuilt the pathway. And like I said, everything small that you see on this property, has been put in the past 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Everything. And I mean, from the generosity from Mrs. Ross, especially Shirley Priest is one of my mentors, Jackie Landers, a lot of people, their generosity has been overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It's beautiful. Very peaceful back here.
Yes. And so the property isn't very deep, but it's very wide.
Right.
And this is actually the creek that runs through it. This over here to the right was originally a holding area, which is in transition, and I still have a lot of propagations out there, as you can see with all the buckets out there. I probably have, probably about 400 hostas over there.
Oh, wow.
But this is our sanctuary, and it just, you know, has kind of evolved little by little, and just gotten to the point where it's coming together. It's looking better.
Because this is a pretty shaded area.
Yes, it's shaded except for 2 hours in the middle of the day, right in the center. When the sun comes over, we have direct sun for about an hour, hour and a half.
Okay.
As you can tell with some of the hostas along the creek in the center, where they've suffered a little bit with the heat. But also, this is very much an area, we call it Wild Kingdom. We have deer that come through.
Oh, nice.
Turtles, possums, foxes. This was done by a buck. A big old buck came and they graze back here. It's funny because they don't bother the hostas anymore because they have plenty of other things to
Gotcha.
eat. So we kind of leave the weeds amongst the moss, and between them and the rabbits, they kind of take care of it. And they really haven't really disturbed too many of the plants. But if they do, it doesn't bother me. You got to give a little bit back to nature.
Yeah.
And this is their domain, so this is why we let them cut through. We don't block off the property. As you can see, I'm still in the process of cleaning the bamboo up. I started at the lower end and I've worked my way to about there, and I still have to go all the way. Now, I do not throw away the bamboo. We have local artisans that come and source bamboo from me and from my neighbor, and they build things for the community, which is really, really cool. So that's why, and also, I pile it up and give the critters somewhere to hide.
Yeah.
Because this is a big area for hawks and especially owls.
Yeah.
We have some massive owls that come through. And it's just,
wow.
It's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. So, but yeah, so we kind of keep little sanctuaries for the little smaller animals. And yeah, it's quite nice. Here, I'll walk you this way. And a lot of these plants are rescues. Like any of the indoor plants, the majority of them are rescues. This was a rescue. All these bromeliads were rescue. This is a rescue. I mean, every single plant down here is a rescue except for the cane plant.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's it's fun. I love it. So this area got trampled a little bit just recently because of the having a new roof, but the guys were great. They tried to be as careful.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, look guys, it's all perennial.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill it. It'll come back.
Right.
So, but as you can see, I've got blue flags means it's new. Red flags means I need to move it.
Okay.
Because I just use certain areas for holding areas, and then I pull it up and I move it. Because if not, it starts to look just a little bit too cluttered. But all of this used to be actually conifers all the way down the line, and on my neighbor's property.
Oh, nice.
To take them down. And so just in the past year, we've redone this area, which, you know, there's ferns, there's strawberry begonias, there's these are flag irises, that is ornamental ginger. And when that blooms, it helps with the mosquitoes.
Nice.
Ferns and hostas just growing on their own. So we kind of redid this area, and I helped her redo her area. All this used to be actually covered in ivy.
Oh,
originally,
wow.
inclusive of her front yard.
Uh-huh.
And that is all my work as well.
Nice.
I've traveled into my neighbor's yard, and I'm going down her property as well. She's great. Love her. If you ever want to know about indoor plants, she's amazing.
Oh, wow.
She's got about 300 of them.
Oh, wow.
which is amazing to me. Because to me, that's more difficult than what I do.
Yeah.
Because she's having the temperature control, humidity control, the dirt, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
So to have so many tropical plants indoors is difficult to me.
Yeah.
I deal in I have indoor plants, but if you notice at my selection, they're really easy to take
Yeah.
care of. But yeah, I ended up redoing all this just, recently, when we took out those conifers. When she took them out, she had to take them out because they were old and they were blocking a lot of the light. And there was still a lot of ivy. So I came through, pulled all the ivy out, and we've just, I've started to re-landscape her property as well. But this originally was just a holding area for ferns and for hostas, and it just kind of grew into this. So, yeah, as you can see, I've got a little bit of everything. I end up sourcing, plants, for next to nothing because they're dying. And then I just take and prune them back and just let them do their thing and come back. So, the majority of my Japanese maples that are in the ground have all been gifted to me by Shirley Priest. I will say that name again, Shirley Priest. She's amazing. And of course, I've put most of them in the ground. I do have some on the back porch. But then some of the others, anything that you see in containers like trees or whatnot, a couple of dogwoods down there, these Japanese maples, all the crepe myrtles, they're all rescues. What I mean by rescue is they're either dead, I get them for free, or I literally buy them for pennies.
Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar. And I just revive them, and then I give them away or I sell them very, very cheaply. Very cheaply. Because I like returning back to the community. And doing, community work and, and just, my neighbor, she's my direct neighbor, she's really benefited.
Yeah.
And she's really sweet, love her to death. But my neighbors are so great that they'll bring me stuff. They just bring me stuff. Our mutual friend Dawn just brought me that tea and said, "I rescued this. Do you want it?"
Oh, wow.
And left it here in the yard, and I haven't moved it. It's still sitting there. So it's been really, really nice. Quite lovely. Kind of emotional at the same time because you just don't realize how much people care about you until they start showing up at your doorstep with literally just stuff.
Yeah.
As you can see. And like I said, there was nothing on this property small.
And that's Solomon.
That's Solomon seal.
I love that.
Yeah, that's Solomon seal. Here's some more phlox. Everything over here except for the anise shrub is a rescue. Everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything. That I actually bought because I love that shrub.
Yeah.
And mosquitoes hate it too.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those, but it's more of a miniature. It won't get more than 4 feet tall.
Okay.
Because you have another version of that, same bright leaves that gets about 7-8 feet tall, and then you've got the regular green leaf anise that will get to 12 to 14 feet.
Wow.
But it's a great plant for anti-mosquito, and I have regular anise that Shirley Priest gave me, about 18 babies, and they're all plugged in underneath the bamboo to help control mosquito. Because being that it's bamboo and the leaves and all that, the mosquitoes do get bad over here. But, bug spray.
Yeah.
And, and so, we play around with it. And if you see a lot of stuff that looks like it's been eaten, like this beautiful plant hosta right here, it's been eaten by caterpillars from swallowtail butterflies.
Oh, wow.
So in the evening, around 7:30 in the evening, sitting on the back porch, you'll see an invasion of yellow butterflies, and they come and they rest here at night.
Oh, wow.
And they've started laying their larvae and everything here on the property. So I realize that, so I leave them alone. Yes, they're eating some of the plants, but it's a perennial. It'll come back.
Right.
So they got to have their share too. And it's a beautiful thing just to see them all land when the sun's going down. And it's just literally hundreds of butterflies just come in and just nest and just rest.
This here is
that is a foxglove.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
That is a foxglove that didn't like all the rain that we got. She didn't like all that rain, but it's a perennial. She'll be back. You know, and there's another one over there that didn't do well. They just really don't like having wet feet, and they stayed wet for a little bit. They stayed wet for a little bit.
Oh, this is just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this originally shrub was here. It was up against the house. I moved it, then I moved it back again, and you know, this, like I said, most of this area is all pretty new. You know, inclusive of her entire front yard is new, and it's just, you know, a work in progress. I let it be.
That was so pretty.
Yeah. I'll bring you in if you want to see the view from up top, from where we hang out. But yeah, I mean, even the bird bath was a rescue. Even the bird bath was a rescue. But the flower lady of Marietta retired. She went back to Thailand.
Okay.
And she sold everything, and she gave me. Well, I did give her a little bit of money because I didn't feel comfortable getting all this, what she had wrapped up in it, and like I said, that's where I ended up with about 40% of what I have in the fenced-in area.
Nice.
Which is really also a full circle, because all her elephant ears, a lot of her canna lilies, all her bananas, a lot of plants, even some of her hostas came from me that I would take to her when I had extras.
Oh, wow.
Or people would give me. This is just, talk about somebody that has a fertile property. I know you do, and it's amazing. This property is so fertile as well, except for the top of that hill, that rabbit poop is the best in the world. It's the only poop that naturally comes out of an animal that is perfectly pH balanced for gardening. That being said, these purple canna lilies are also right here. But the rabbits love pooping in this area, and the nitrogen level is so high that they turn green.
Oh, nice.
Now, in the spring, I pulled a cluster of them up and put them back on the hill to see if they would turn purple again. They did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did. It's incredible. It's incredible, because that was supposed to be purple because I wanted some color through there. But nature's going to do its own thing. What can you do? What can you do? But I'll show you the view from upstairs. Yeah, I'll show you the view from upstairs. All that was full of those purple canna lilies. But like I said, that storm kind of knocked them down. So I just cut them all down.
Yeah.
And they're already popping back up.
Yeah.
It's only been about a week and a half. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of everything from Dutch irises, procosmia, all my roses on the other side of the fence, they're all rescues.
Okay.
All my roses are rescues. Obedient plants, which are not very obedient. They're wanting to take over. My Texas hibiscus, also known as swamp hibiscus, I love, and they've gotten really, really big. It's one of my favorites.
That's that tall one with
That's
them
the
little
tall.
spikes on there. Okay.
Yeah, with the
the
little
buds that the
Yeah.
flowers are. Now, what color is it?
Red.
Oh, nice.
Bright red, which they just bloomed, so they're about to go into another cycle.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's plants everywhere.
Yeah. No.
There's plants everywhere. And I put always prop drops in there, just to propagate stuff. I just let it sit in there. And a lot of times I'll throw stuff in the ground around here, and it'll just come up. I'm propagating Japanese maples. I've got a couple clippings in the ground, which they'll take. I noticed out back just now that there was one that was taking. I just throw it in the ground.
What is this?
That is a cardinal flower.
Oh, that is
cardinal
pretty.
flower. And so the flower lady actually grew those from seeds. I sold all of them except for 2 or 3, and I thought I would plug them here because the snapdragons got too hot.
Yeah.
And they went dormant.
Yeah.
So I cut them back. But my neighbor, yesterday, she went shopping, and she's like, "Can you use some more cone flowers?" I said, "Well, I have some, but yeah, I wouldn't mind."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, is this a good price?" I said, "Yes." And so she brought me all these cone flowers and some butterfly weed, because she knew I didn't have any butterfly weed.
Your gardenia's doing good and smelling good.
Yes, and I'm glad they came back, because they got all the gardenias got really bit 2 winters ago, and I had a bigger camellia. She never came back, so I actually ended up replacing her last year. And I've got another one that I'm going to throw in the ground over there. The reason I haven't thrown it in the ground yet is because it's too hot.
Yeah.
And the moment I disturb her roots, she's going to stress. So she's still in her container. So, and but yeah, I mean, so these are the Caribbean avocados, and I keep them bonsai. They, of course, they have to come inside during the winter.
Right.
But I'll keep them about at 8 to 10 feet, and eventually they'll produce.
Okay.
They'll produce. It's just something fun up here, and this is where we usually sit in the evening, even at night, and the owls come, and all of nature's around us, and
Wow.
it's just a wonderful little area.
Yes,
to,
it
to
is.
hang out.
Oh, you got a Japanese maple there.
So yeah, so this is a dwarf Japanese maple. I actually bought this at the Master Gardener's sale a couple of years ago, and so this one will stay here on the porch because it's my fiance's favorite. And then see, here's another one.
Oh yeah.
There's another one over there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
There's
Okay.
several.
Wow.
And I need to put a couple of them in the ground or in bigger containers elsewhere, but
oh, this is beautiful.
yeah, especially when there's water running through the creek.
Oh
We've
yeah.
been a little,
This is just gorgeous.
right. Yeah, one of the biggest things that got me propagating, of course I grew up doing it, was an angel's trumpet, and this is the mother of all angel's trumpets. She's actually gotten me probably about 150 propagations.
Wow.
And that's why she looks rough, because I do propagate her, and I have not cut her back in a couple of years. I keep cutting all the limbs and propagating those and giving them away, but I'll end up cutting her back.
Yeah.
I'll end up cutting her, but that's the mother of them all.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, rescues, some of them are rescues, some of them are gifts. Rescue, I think this was a gift originally, and this was a gift from the flower lady.
Wow. Now what is that?
This is an angel wing begonia.
Oh, okay.
This is an angel wing begonia as well, and it was much bigger, but when we had that storm and the wind came through, everything on this side of the porch landed this way.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Now what is that one?
This is a type of philodendron that
Oh.
was given to me by my neighbor, as well as this one as well. I'd have to look up the name because I'm not good with certain names, and there's a lot of the philodendrons.
Yeah.
That's a big family. But I find that they're pretty easy to take care of. You don't really have to mess with them too much, and that's pretty much my thing as far as houseplants. I've got my little orchid corner. Most of them are rescue. I did have a couple of them bloom, but a lot of times with the rescues, I get them healthy, I get them beautiful, and I give them away for people's birthday, Christmases. If you're not a gardener, that's usually what you get from me as a plant.
Yeah.
So my garden friends, I don't give them plants. So of course, we exchange or whatnot. But a lot of times, some of the things are rescues. I know that Japanese maple right there came from Mrs. Priest. The ones in the ground out back that you saw all came from
really
Mrs.
pretty.
Priest. Yeah. So it's fun. It's a lot of love. Yeah, we have a lot of cardinals. We have a family of finches. The little wrens come by all the time. The wrens will be out and about, and
nice.
Yeah, so it's like Wild Kingdom.
Well, this is beautiful, Juan. Just beautiful.
Thank you.
And I really never knew what a bamboo looked like.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people are really afraid of it. But when it starts coming up, you either clip it off with a smaller bamboo. You just take a pair of scissors and clip it off or rip it off. Eventually, if you do that enough, that vein will die. And with a bigger bamboo, if you don't want it to grow, then you break it off. You pour a teaspoon of vinegar in the center of it, and then you take what you broke off and you peel it back and you use it to cook with.
Really?
Bamboo shoots that you go out.
Are you
Chinese
serious?
food comes from the giant bamboo.
My gosh, I did not know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I have some in the freezer.
Oh wow.
The giant bamboo will only grow once a year, and that's at the beginning of the spring. And we were so dry at the beginning of the spring that only about 25% of the new shoots took off.
Oh, okay.
And usually it'll pop out of the ground, and within 3 or 4 days it'll be 5-6 feet tall.
Wow.
And then it
wow.
goes, yeah. I never in a million years If you would have told me when I got this property that I would have this many plants, I never would have believed you. I never would have believed it. But I guess once I decided to focus and only garden and propagate, it literally, there are weeks where it just rains plants. It just rains plants. I mean, all those flag irises came from one property. So did all that ginger.
Yeah.
All the purple cannas. I mean, I've got also dwarf yellow cannas. I've got tall yellow cannas. I've got tall orange cannas. I've got, variegated. The hostas. I didn't realize this, but I have like 15 different types of hostas.
Nice.
And half of those came from one property.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, like I say, I give to my neighbors. It's kind of nice driving around your own neighborhood and seeing your plants.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. Yeah. So,
well, I cannot thank you enough for letting me see this and then for me to be able to share it with my viewers,
thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'll share it with anybody. If I structure it too much, then it doesn't look natural, and it's just like, that just doesn't look like it belongs there.
Right.
So if I let it go a little bit more natural and go here and there, of course the creek area is going to look very structured because I want color. But I'm trying not to make it look structured. I'm trying just to let it flow naturally. Like something will pop up and I'm like, you really shouldn't be there. But if it happened naturally, then I just back off and say, okay, you were supposed to be there.
Right.
But I keep it all at bay. I keep the giant bamboo at bay. When we originally did come in, I did clean up a lot of the smaller bamboo, but this property is actually on the Atlanta Zoo Panda Registry. They come and they source about every 3 years the golden bamboo, the first cuttings for the panda at the Atlanta Zoo. And actually those 2 stacks were much, much bigger, but there's local artisans that come and they're like, can we come get bamboo? Yes, take as much as you want.
Yeah. Well, thanks again,
You're welcome.
Juan.
You're welcome.
My gosh, I so love it. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, garden friends, I hope you enjoyed seeing Juan's bamboo oasis and his beautiful woodland garden, and then all of the items that he ends up propagating. And like he said, it's about giving back not only to the neighborhood, but then also he has a plant sale once a year. So I'll make sure I keep you guys informed of when that is. Well, thank you again for visiting Inspiring Garden Corner, and I look forward to you checking out my next video.